Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Maximus here. Um, we're gonna get a little bit of a break from Sekiro stuff and talk about something that came up recently. I'm gonna be playing Trapper with Barbecue and Chili, Hex Noed, Hex Ruin, and Enduring with no add-ons, no offering. And catch is, I'm not gonna use my bear traps. Just gonna play standard M1 killer. Now, thing I want to talk about is the devs. Oh, hilarious. Named Beta because you act like a beta cuck. Nah, but for real, I am addicted to soda at this point. Okay, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, the devs have decided to rework Legion. Now, I know what the initial reaction is. Thank God, this is the most unfun killer in the entire game. Can't believe it took him this long to realize this. Blah, 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 blah. Now, while I can get some of that, we have to take everything into account first. Now, let's go over each individual change that's going to be put into the next PTB. Legion gets turned into a 115 movement speed killer, 32 meter terror radius. So basically, he becomes same as most M1 killers. Okay, fair enough. I can accept an increase in terror radius in compensation for his movement speed being buffed. Now, most of his add-ons are apparently being reworked or rebalanced to account for the changes to Feral Frenzy, which will be discussed later. And Iridescent Button now doesn't require you to stab somebody and put someone in deep wounds in order for it to work. Now, Eerie Button change actually sounds decent. Hi, Dwight. This Dwight's my obsession. Get back here, Dwight. Now, there are some changes to both Feral Frenzy and Deep Wounds as well, not just Legion as a standard killer. Recharge of time of Feral Frenzy is increased, meaning that you're on a longer cooldown. Not only that, but you now need to have your power gauge at full in order to actually use your power. So, guess what? Your power now works kind of exactly like Spirit in that sense. And play Ring Around the Rosie with this Dwight, I guess. Yeah, he's just gonna go from pallet to pallet. It's Thompson House, so he can just do this. Duration of Feral Frenzy is increased, though, which means the Legion spends longer in Feral Frenzy. Now, if I'm gonna be honest... Oh, that was a really bad dead hard. If I'm gonna be honest, the duration of Feral Frenzy was never a problem. It honestly wasn't. There were other problems with Legion, but the duration of Feral Frenzy was never one of them. Alright, where did Claudette go? There you are. Okay. Go back to Dwight. They finally got rid of my rune. Okay, cool. She won't be able to flashlight save. However, as a compensation for his Feral Frenzy duration being increased, his movement speed in Feral Frenzy is significantly reduced, meaning that he's going to be slower overall while in Feral Frenzy, meaning the increased duration doesn't really matter that much. Which is a damn shame. Fuck. I thought I saw Claudette. I see Nia, though. Hi, Nia. Get the fuck out of here. That Bill's got borrowed time for sure. Oh, whatever. I'll chase after Bill. I don't give a shit. Oh, hi, Claudette. You had sprint first. Hilarious. Now, on the top of Feral Frenzy's movement speed being reduced, we're not done nerfing his power. Oh, no. In Feral Frenzy, you cannot see blood. Which, I don't know why you would do that when he already cannot see scratch marks. And it is immediately and automatically canceled whenever the Legion misses an attack while in Frenzy. Meaning, you miss an attack, bam, that's it. Your power's done. Feels bad, man. Now, according to one of the devs, it apparently is something along the lines of, it doesn't drain your power entirely. It just makes your power stop immediately. You go into cooldown, and from there, you just still have as much of your power as you did when you missed your attack. Still, really fucking unforgiving. You had a bloodstain. Man, how cute. Did not expect her to double back with that window. You don't have balance landing, so I really don't care that you just did that. Very nice attempt, Claudette. Close, but no dice. We are getting close to hitting every single pallet. She has Iron Will. That was a mess up on my part. Oh, she doesn't have Iron Will. Yep. This is about standard for an M1 killer without any kind of power. Now I'm gonna have to go over to this gate just in case. If not, then I have to accept my 1K and leave. Alright. And now Deep Wounds update. Deep Wound timer pauses for survivors within the killer's terror radius. Not if you're in a chase. Not just if you're in a chase. Just pauses in the killer's terror radius entirely. Oh, cool. No, it's gone. Now I literally just lose. Especially since I can't find this Claudette. Oh, hi. I literally cannot find this Claudette. Get out of here. Ah, over there. Okay. I don't know if that door is going to be open. I love how this pallet is still a thing. Yeah, no. Get out of here, Bill. And get off. Okay. Oh my god. You and your second chances. I heard Bill. There he is. Considering everyone's injured, I might actually get a second kill out of this. Maybe. Anyway, so deep wounds timer pauses while you're within the killer's terror radius. Don't know who decided that change was an effective. Was a good change, but whoever it is, they're freaking idiots. Okay. Get out of here. Deep wound timer pauses while mending. That would have been a perfectly fine change on its own. Honestly, it should have been that way. That and add in mending being considered a healing action would have been the only real changes that needed to be done to mending. Would have completely gotten rid of moonwalking. Would have done it would have given a pretty sizable buff to Legion and given him more perk versatility. Killer now does not see the deep wound timer progress, only the deep wound bar. For what reason, I really don't know. And deep wound timer progress is no longer reduced by Federal Frenzy attacks. So guess what? I really don't freaking know. Like, it's so ridiculous. You basically just don't have a power. Like, you actually just do not have a power. And that's why I was playing Trapper without traps. This is literally what Legion is going to be. I honestly do not understand why anyone thought that this change was going to be a good change. And you know, this doesn't even get into the fact that the changes to deep wounds is just a huge buff to borrow time. This is a perk. This is a perk that... it's a perk that before Legion was introduced was actually my favorite Survivor perk in the entire game. It was a perk that helped punish campers, but it had counterplay, meaning that if for some reason the killer just happened to be nearby the hook and the person just unhooked right in front of his face, he wasn't punished too hard. But at the same time, it's still a huge time waster for the killer camping. Then Legion gets added, they decide to add deep wounds to it, and instead of being a perfectly balanced perk that absolutely nobody complained about, by the way, when Borrow Time got nerfed from its original stuff to where it was before Legion, everyone was perfectly fine with it. Also, all this fucking salt shit show going down right now. So, honestly, the thing that I'm really pissed off about with these Legion changes is mostly the Deep Wounds changes. Because it's just a huge frickin' buff to borrow time. Again, when it never needed its first buff in the first place. Deep Wounds never should have been attached to borrow time. Period. It should have stayed the way it was before Legion dropped. And now it's going to be one of the most broken survivor perks in the entire game. It's going to be borrow time, Medal of Man, Adrenaline. And if all three survivors are running those, and running a fourth perk of their choice, depends on the map, Balanced Landing, Dead Hard, Unbreakable, and not just depends on the map, it also depends on what kind of killer. Like if the killer slugs more, Unbreakable. If it's a nurse, maybe Dead Hard. But anyway, that's getting into semantics. Just Adrenaline, Borrow Time, Medal of Man, and a fourth perk of your choice. And if you play competently, only Nurse is going to stand a chance. Billy, maybe. Everyone else, no. Everyone else is going to just get completely and utterly fucked. As for Legion, do I think he's going to be worse? I'm not entirely sure. Because his power had slight uses. But at the same time, he was a 110 movement speed killer. And if you wanted to down anyone without double cooldown or Frank's mixtape, you had to chase at 110. And if you don't know what chasing at 110 is like, try playing Huntress without hatchets. Or playing Hag without her traps. Or playing Spirit without phase walking. That's what Legion is, if you do not have double cooldown or Frank's mixtape. Now, the unique part of his power is just completely gone. The only way to really play him is just be a standard M1 killer. Unless they just don't touch cooldown add-ons, which I find that very hard to believe that they would even consider that. Then he's just going to be a killer that is played without using his power. Because Deep Wounds is just freaking useless. Anyway, pretty much wanted to get all that shit off of my chest. It's just a shitty situation, to be honest. It's a really bad idea, a really bad change. Honestly, Legion needs a rework, but he needs a rework that makes his power fun and actually decent. Neither of those are going to be met with this next update. And at the end of all these lists of changes, it says, "We hope these updates will enrich your gaming experience and we look forward to your feedback regarding the Legion." Enrich our gaming experience, huh? Is the killer allowed to have fun? I get that survivors need to have fun. And that they are the majority of the people in the game. But do you really have to make all of your changes based around giving 4 out of 5 people fun and the last person left over is just completely fucked? Or is there a way that we could have actually made Legion a fun and interactive killer for both sides? Let me know what you think. This is Maximus, signing out. Have a good one.